All right, let's get right into it. Your GCP data engineer exam is just around the corner, and you need that last-minute, high-energy review. Well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to the ultimate exam cram for GCP data ingestion. Let's do this. So let me just ask you, what's the one topic you know is going to show up? The one thing you absolutely, positively cannot afford to get wrong because it's at the heart of almost every single data architecture question. You guessed it, it's data ingestion. It's all about how we get our data into Google Cloud in the first place. But hey, don't sweat it. By the end of this, you're gonna have this stuff down cold. We're gonna absolutely ace this together. Okay, so let's break this down. At the highest level, there are really only two ways you're gonna get data into GCP. On one hand, you've got batch ingestion. Think of this as the heavy-duty bulk work. It's all about high throughput, moving massive amounts of data, what we call bounded data, files with a clear start and end. And you usually do it on a schedule, like once a night. On the other hand, you have streaming ingestion. This is the live action stuff. It's all about low latency, getting data in real time. We're talking unbounded data here, like a never-ending fire hose of information from sensors or clicks. Knowing when to use which one? That's foundational, and it's definitely going to be on the exam. First up, let's tackle those heavy lifters, batch ingestion. And to make this super easy to remember when you're staring at that exam screen, we're going to use a simple mnemonic, GDT. Just think of it as great data transfer. So what is batch processing, really? Well, the easiest way to picture it is to think of a shopkeeper, right? They're not going to stop and count every dollar after every single sale. No way. They wait until the end of the day, lock the doors, and then tally up all the sales in one big go. That's batch processing in a nutshell, dealing with big, finite chunks of data all at once. So let's break down our GDT mnemonic. First up, G is for GCS to BigQuery. This is the absolute classic pattern. You've got massive CSV or JSON files sitting in your data lake on Google Cloud Storage, and you just load them straight into BigQuery. Easy. Next, D is for database exports. So imagine your live application runs on something like Cloud SQL. You can't run your big, heavy analytics queries on that without slowing everything down. So what do? You export the data, maybe nightly, into BigQuery. And finally, T stands for the transfer service. This is your go-to tool when you need to move colossal amounts of data from other clouds like AWS S3 or even from your own on-prem data centers. So remember, GDT, great data transfer. Okay, let's flip the coin and talk about streaming. This is where the action is. It's all live. And to really master it for the exam, you've got to know the rules of the game. And for this, our mnemonic is OEA. We'll get to what that means in just a sec. Now, the absolute heart of streaming on GCP is a service called PubSub. And honestly, the best analogy for it is a WhatsApp broadcast list. It's that simple. One system, the publisher, sends out a message, and then any other system that has subscribed to that topic gets the message instantly. The key thing is the sender has no idea who's listening. It just broadcasts. Okay, now for the official, put this on a flashcard definition. PubSub is a fully managed, global, and asynchronous messaging service. But the most important word there, the one you have to remember, is that it decouples your systems. The service producing the data doesn't have to wait for the service consuming it. They're totally independent. And that decoupling is the magic that makes streaming architectures so incredibly powerful and scalable. All right, let's unpack that OAA mnemonic, because these are the three critical features of PubSub you have to know. O is for ordering. This is huge. If a customer adds an item to their cart and then pays, you have to process those events in the correct sequence. PubSub guarantees this for messages that share the same key. Next, E is for exactly once delivery. You can't have someone's payment processed twice, right? That'd be a disaster. This feature ensures every single message is processed one time and one time only, no duplicates. And finally, A is for asynchronous, that beautiful decoupling we just talked about. So one more time, OEA, ordering, exactly once, asynchronous. Got it? Good. And now we've arrived at the main event. Seriously, if there is one single thing you take away from this whole explainer, make it this. This is the ultimate, the canonical streaming pipeline on GCP. And for this one, the mnemonic you need to burn into your brain is PDB. And I am not exaggerating when I call this the exam's holy trinity. P to D to B. If you get any question about a real-time use case, I'm talking fraud detection, IoT data streams, website click streams, anything like that, this architecture is almost always the answer. It is the unstoppable, go-to streaming pipeline on GCP. So let's break down PDB. P is for PubSub. Think of it as the front door, the big shock absorber that can handle an insane high-velocity stream of raw data coming from all over the world. Next, D is for data flow. This is the brains of the operation. It's a serverless processing engine, meaning you just write your code and Google handles all the messy infrastructure for you, and it pulls the data from PubSub to clean, transform, and enrich it in real time. And finally, B is for BigQuery. Dataflow streams that nice, clean data directly into BigQuery, where it's immediately ready for analysis with standard SQL. That's the pattern. PubSub to Dataflow to BigQuery. PDB. Say it with me. PDB. All right, you've done great. Let's do a super quick, rapid-fire final review to lock all of this in. This is your ingestion cheat sheet.
For batch, what was it? GDT, Great Data Transfer? That's GCS to BigQuery for your files, database exports for your operational data, and the transfer service for those huge moves from other clouds. For the key features of streaming with PubSub, you've got OEA. That's ordering for sequence exactly once for no duplicates, and asynchronous for that crucial decoupling.
And the most important one, the ultimate real-time pipeline, PDB, PubSub to ingest, Dataflow to process, and BigQuery to store and analyze. You got this. So look at that. You've now got a really solid grip on data ingestion, which is awesome. But remember, getting the data in is just step one. That middle piece of our PDB pipeline, that D for data flow, is a huge topic on its own. So the next big question you really got to ask yourself is, how do you choose the right processing engine? When do you use data flow? And when would you use its cousin, Dataproc? Nail that, and you're another giant leap closer to acing this exam.